Hello, everybody, and welcome to From the Mezzanine, the Broadway podcast for the Broadway fans. Here we talk about all things Broadway news, Broadway grosses, and let's be honest, all of the tea and gossip that happens week to week in the Broadway stratosphere. And I am your host, Lindsay Stone. What is up, everybody? We were blessed by the Broadway news gods this week in that we got so much news, primarily casting news, that I, in particular, am uniquely situated at the virtue of your position, though virtue is not a word I would apply to the situation, that I am uniquely very lit for. And I'm not going to say some of this news was surprising because we definitely knew it was coming. But we'll get to that. I keep alluding and I want to tease what's to come so that you listen to the entire episode. And I hope that you do because, From the Mezzanine is the best podcast that has ever existed. And I'm really proud to be its host. Okay, whatever. You guys, today is a big day for me. Let me tell y'all what I have on my plate today because it's kind of crazy. It's the weekend, yes. But the Broadway Besties may know, if you're on the Patreon, I've told you guys a lot about this. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on the podcast because at this point, like the Meet Me at the Stage Doors, which is like the bonus little episode that I do every single week for the patrons, and it's also accessible on Spotify for $5.99 a month. I like dish out my personal information. For lack of a better way to say that. And I have a new job and I've been telling them all about it. And it's just so cool and fun. And I'm really proud of it. And I'm going to be talking about it a little bit later in the episode. So this is just like a little precursor that like I'm working in social media for theater, some Broadway shows, lots of off-Broadway shows, some live event performances, all kinds of stuff. And I am loving it so much. I'm so happy with it. The team is incredible that I work with, and to work in theater has always been my end goal. Let me give y'all a little spiel, okay, on my personal goals. I always wanted to work in theater. When I graduated from college, it was COVID. Y'all, it was 2020. May of 2020 was when I graduated. Oof! Bad time to graduate, especially if you want to do something in the arts. So your girl was conflicted. I had always been like, when I graduate, I'm going to move to New York City and I'm going to get a big city job working for theater. And look, I'm definitely not mad that I didn't because I really loved the industry that I got in that had nothing to do with theater. People used to always ask me, that was actually a really common question that I got. Okay, do you do the podcast full time? What do you do? Because surely your podcast isn't big enough that you can do it for your job. And that is true. And that is okay. So I was working for architecture firms, construction companies. I was in the building industry, okay? Very different, diametrically opposed foes from theater, okay? But working in that industry was why I needed From the Mezzanine, a creative outlet. I would have probably never started From the Mezzanine had I not started my professional career in a completely opposite industry from what I picture myself in. And I loved that industry. It was amazing. And now I'm finally doing what I always swore I would do. We're going to be doing a lot of that today. I feel like I'm on this good roll of hearing a word and connecting it to a musical. It's kind of fun. It's kind of like a personal game. So anyways, yes, I'm finally working on the marketing side of Broadway and it seriously couldn't be better. And today, that's what I was getting to. I was like, why did I bring this up? Today, I'm going to New York Comic Con for a very cool reason that maybe I'll share with the Broadway Besties why I'm going. But I'm going to be doing some work at the Museum of Broadway later today. Wink, wink. I don't know. I don't want to give too much away. Oh my gosh. Okay, fine, guys. I'll just say it. I'm going to be like working with Jasmine Amy Rogers all day. I'm like going to be her right-hand man girly for the day, taking her through New York Comic-Con, which is just crazy considering how prominent Comic-Con was in Boop that now Jasmine's going. It's just so cool. I'm really excited. It's going to be a great day, very fun, very, very busy and crazy because I've never been to a Comic-Con in my life. I probably never would have, and now it's going to be a little crazy because I'm going to be like taking Jasmine all the way through it. So a little wild, not fully sure what to expect, but it's going to be great. It's going to be great. So that's what I have going on today. And, I just love it. I love my job. And I think that's all I should say because we'll be talking about it a little bit later. That was a fun little intro. I don't have any shows to recap or review with y'all. I didn't see anything this week, but I do have some things coming up. I'm seeing Romeo and Michelle at the end of October. I am seeing Liberation at the end of October. I am seeing Beau at the end of October. Everything's happening in about 2 weeks. I'm going to be really, really busy seeing a show like every single night for like the last week of October into the first week of November. So just anticipating that. And my parents will be in town next weekend. So your girl will be seeing a show with them. What it is, I don't know. My mom wants to see Six. She also kind of wants to see Gatsby. And I'm like, Mom, why didn't y'all come a couple weeks later? And you'll see why in just a little bit. Because I really don't want to see Gatsby right now. I'd rather see it with Jeremy Jordan. Okay. Enough with the delay. Let's get into our Broadway grosses. That way we can finally get to our Broadway news. Broadway grosses, ladies and gents. This is for the week ending on October 5th. And drumroll, please. Brrr, our number one top show for the week of October 5th, I already forgot it, is Hamilton. Grossing $3.7 million. Round of applause. That's crazy. Number two is Wicked. As Wicked for Good comes out, they're going to be making a little bit more money, but I do not think they are going to gain on Hamilton at all until Leslie is out. Wicked grossed just over $2 million. And let me reiterate, Hamilton grossed 3.7, honey. $1.7 million more than Wicked. So there is a humongous gap between 1 and 2. Our number 3 is The Lion King. Our number 4 was a newcomer last week. It is Waiting for Godot. I'm going to say it like that because I kind of love that. Godot has a sort of like ring to it, a certain je ne sais quoi, Godot. But I kind of love Godot. Like I said, it sounds like Ice Spice, like Godot. I love it. Mamma Mia is 5. Art is 6. Just in Time is doing really well. I think this was because this would have been like the closing week for, what's her name? Gracie Lawrence. And now Sarah Hyland is in that role. So I guess a lot of people went this week, but they're usually pretty good anyways. Death Becomes Her is 7. MJ is 8. Maybe Happy Ending is bumped up to 9. And Aladdin is 10. Okay, I was really excited last week to see where Ragtime fell on the grosses. Of course, they are still in previews. However, they are number 12. They are the 12th top grossing show last week. That is great. 100% capacity. And they grossed just under $1 million. Guys, I'm a little mad. I'm a little perturbed because my parents, I thought, oh my gosh, Ragtime is the perfect show to bring your parents to. My family would love it. So I'm on the computer. I'm looking it up. How much are tickets? Which I never do. But I'm like, no, my parents are going to be here. It's my mom's birthday. Just maybe I'll buy the tickets in advance. When I tell you, for the entire weekend that they are here, there are 2 seats available. Everything else completely sold out. So that's not great for your girl because I want them to see this. And guys, another thing that we should just note. Chess It's almost time. It's time. It's almost time for chess. I was trying to do the Mariah Carey, it's time. It looks so good. Everything I see. They're really, oh, Reed, come here. There is a cockroach on the tripod, walking up the tripod right there. Oh my, Reed. It's walking up the tripod. Guys, it's right there, babe. Holy shit. Careful, don't like attack it, crazy. Guys, this is living in New York. That was disgusting. The cockroach almost got to you guys. I don't know how to come back from that. We were talking about chess. Okay. I'm going to leave that part in because last week we were having like crazy sirens outside. Now I have a cockroach climbing up my tripod. Living in New York is not for the weak. No, sir. Okay. Let's get back to it. Chess looks insane. Erin Tveit has literally never looked hotter. Lea Michele seems like she is just singing her face off. I think she said a post that was like, I feel like these songs were written for me, which is just such a Lea Michele thing to say in general, but I'm so ready. Our lowest grossing musicals, we're just going to take a little look, just a little slight look. Okay, 6 is our lowest grossing musical, below Chicago, Wowie Zowie. Operation Mincemeat is our other lowest grossing. Okay, we did it. I'm looking away now. Looking away. Not gonna pay any more attention to the bottom. Let's get into our Broadway news, guys. It is casting craziness. We got not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 major casting news stories this week. Whew. And the first one, ladies and gentlemen, I'm having PTSD. I keep thinking I'm seeing another cockroach. Okay, the first one is not a shock to anyone. We all knew this was happening. I'm pretty sure I reported on From the Mezzanine probably 2 months ago that Jeremy Jordan is coming back to The Great Gatsby. What a thrill. What a delight. What a blessing this man is to Broadway. And furthermore, no one drops their knees to the pillow and falls into the pool like this man. And I cannot wait to see him do it again. Oh, I love him. I love Jeremy Jordan. And further, this announcement of his return back to Gatsby after, falling into a cave and dying. That little detour. Remember that, everyone? That detour? Anyways. It was only made even better by the way they announced his return. And it was the most beautiful marketing video I have ever laid my eyes on. If you have not watched it, I wish we could clip to it, but YouTube would take this down. It is so fun, and they better release the recording on Spotify. They did a mashup of How I Green Light, How I Want It, that we all have had stuck in our head since we saw John Proctor. They mashed up Lord's Green Light with Green Light from The Great Gatsby. It was done so well, so aesthetically. Aisha Jackson is our Daisy Buchanan right now, and her voice is so good, especially mixed with the belts and the whines of Jeremy Jordan. Absolutely incredible. I love this video. It likely will be my next hyperfixation, and I desperately need them to release it on a streaming platform so we can listen to it absolutely whenever. I also love, the I knew that green light, how I want it. Like the chorus, the like voices in the song. They had the ensemble, shout out to Ariana Mullen, singing that part. And the vibes are just so good in this music video. I loved it, loved it, loved it. I love when we make a meal out of announcing somebody's casting in or on Broadway, because why not? Why not have a little bit of fun with it? Why not do the most? And that is why we love And That's Showbiz. Miss Catherine Quinn shows up and shows out and gives the theater fans exactly what we want to see. And it did it for me. I'm lit. I'm singing. I love it. I love it. I love it. So stick to the facts here. Jeremy Jordan is going to be returning to the role of Jay Gatsby beginning November 10th. And there's no end in sight. They have not announced for how long. Now's the time where the energy dips. At every party there might be a low where the energy dips. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're thinking we should go and they ran out of chips. Now's that moment, okay? The rumors swirling online, I just gotta address them, are that Gatsby's gonna close. That's why they brought Jeremy back. He's gonna close it. Now, we have heard rumors like this before. Remember when everybody said that Jordan Fisher was going to be coming into the role of Christian, that he would be closing Moulin Rouge? Well, newsflash, it's still running. Ha ha! You were wrong, rumor starters. But this is what I have heard, and as we all know, it's no secret that Gatsby has not been grossing as much as they used to. So, with that being said, guys, it could be true. Which, Gatsby has been such a surprising success on Broadway. It got nearly no Tony noms. What it did get nominated for, it won. Shout out costume design. It should have received more Tony noms. It was definitely sped to get to Broadway so that they could qualify for the Tonys that year. And somehow, it's Jeremy Jordan effect, but, somehow it is a wild success. And it was grossing so much. Right now, not so much. But I do think once Jeremy's in again, it will do really well again. But I won't be mad. I will be sad, but I won't be like, oh, it should run forever if they announce that it's going to close with Jeremy. Because I do think it's nice to bookend it with Jeremy back in the role of Jay Gatsby, where he belongs. And, it's just been such a success that I won't be that disappointed. I'll be sad, but I won't be like tragically distraught if they announce it's closing. But yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully it continues to be the success that it is. And I just love Jeremy Jordan. So, we could talk for hours about that, but we probably shouldn't, because that's not the point of this podcast. Otherwise, it would be called Jeremy Jordan Fan Page. Next casting news story that we have is that Trisha Paytas, yep, you heard me right, she is coming back to Broadway. She had her one night only Trisha Paytas' Broadway Dream show that benefited, I believe, Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. And now she's coming back in a role in Beetlejuice. Yeah, kind of crazy, extremely shocking. But once you dive into the story of this, it becomes a little clear that this is not as big of a deal as I think everybody's going to make it out to be. I'm happy for Trisha. I know she has a lot of respect for Broadway. I personally am not like a huge Trisha Paytas fan. I don't know her super well. I just see like the memes. I've never like watched her videos, but I have definitely seen her cosplaying Beetlejuice. So I know this is just like a pinch me moment for her. And for that, I am very happy. But potentially for like the everyday people who are going to see Beetlejuice. And I mean, Trisha Paytas, she's not a Broadway performer by any stretch. So for the typical folks, they're going to be kind of like disappointed, I feel. But the role she's playing, Maxine Dean, it is a tiny, tiny role. It's usually a split cast. This character who plays Maxine Dean also plays other characters throughout Beetlejuice. And Trisha Paytas is only playing the one character, who I think only appears for the iconic Deo, when we said Deo scene. So it's just like a really small part, which I don't love when they bring, okay, she could not lead a cast talent-wise, but also like, I just don't love a stunt casting where people are cast not based on their talent, and it's basically just a money grab in a way, because she's going to be on stage for, I would assume, max 10 minutes, and it just doesn't seem like worth it to me. But I know all the Trisha fans are probably beside themselves, super excited for this. But I will say what I do like about this is the actor who always plays Maxine Dean and plays all the other characters throughout Beetlejuice. They're an ensemble member primarily. They get to keep their job because they're still going to play all of those other ensemble members. Trisha Paytas is only playing one of that person's track. So super interesting, really different. I haven't heard of that happening before. I'm sure it has. I'm just not aware of it. But Trisha Paytas, here are the facts. She is going to be coming into Beetlejuice on November 4th through November 23rd. This is like so soon. I'm really surprised that it's just such a quick turnaround, but also Beetlejuice isn't going to be on Broadway for a super long time. But it's interesting. But it's just not really like for me, I guess I would say. Like, I would rather go a different night when Trisha was not in it to see Beetlejuice in its entirety and not just like a lot of people are there for 10 minutes of the musical. Because I just feel like when like somebody's in it just for this minute portion, then people are going to be like on the edge of their seats like, oh, when is it coming? When is it coming? Is she coming now? Is it coming now? Like with each scene change. And like, I just don't like that vibe. Okay, next, our next casting story is that Miss Piggy has been announced that she is making her Broadway debut in Rob Lake Magic with special guests, the Muppets. So here's when I make this about myself. Or should I tell you the facts first? Maybe I'll tell you the facts first. Okay, Miss Piggy, she is basically, all they've announced at this stage is that she will be starring alongside Kermit the Frog. So we know the two leading Muppets of the Muppets will be in this show. That's super exciting for all of the Muppets fans out there. Oh my gosh, imagine the Muppets came to Broadway and Miss Piggy wasn't in the show. Like that, Miss Piggy would be so mad. So obviously Miss Piggy has to be on Broadway, and this is actually her Broadway debut. The Muppets haven't ever actually been in a running Broadway show, so it's just so cool, so excited. And I know Rob Lake, it's like special guests, the Muppets, so they're only going to be in a portion of it. And here's when I tell y'all something literally crazy. Broadway Besties, are you ready? Are you ready? Oh my God. Guys, I found out this week. You remember how I was talking to you about my job? I found out this week because I am working on this show, Rob Lake Magic, with special guests and Muppets, that I'm going to be in the Playbill. So if any of the Broadway Besties go and see Rob Lake Magic, which you absolutely should. I was at his press event this past week and he sawed a woman in half and it was insane. It was so cool. I loved it. He's just so effervescent and he has such good charisma and he's going to light up the stage, especially with the fact that Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy are going to be in it. But if you go / when you go, because I know you're all going to go, can't miss this. So cool. A monumental moment for the Muppets. You got to send me a picture of your playbill with your girl in it. Imagine I'm like saying all of this and I'm not even actually in it, but I'm pretty sure that, no, I know. I have on good accounts that I am in it. And that's going to be the biggest pinch me moment of the century. I'm not ready for that. I'm not at all ready to see my name in a playbill. Like, I just thought about it. Like, I actually put myself like in that future Lindsay's shoes and like my heart just dropped. Like, oh, it's going to be so cool. It's going to be really, really surreal. So I just had to make this story about myself for a moment because I know in true Miss Piggy diva fashion, I had to have my diva moment. And I'm just so excited for this to come to Broadway. I'm so excited for everyone to see it. It's going to be iconic. It's an 85 or so minute show, no intermission. Perfect to bring the family to. It's going to be opening on Broadway. Well, the previews start October 28th. So go get your tickets to Rob Lake Magic. I'm so excited. Oh, and it's a limited run. So you have to see it during the holiday season because right now it closes on January 18th. Okay, our last piece of casting news, and then I have a little cherry on top, one more news story for you. Last piece of casting news, though, it is about Lost Boys. We got the casting, but I thought this would be an excellent, opportune moment for me to do a deep dive on Lost Boys because I've heard so much about it. When Josh Rosen, shout out, came onto the pod, he said he thinks this is going to be like the underdog it girl of the season. And I don't know if I like can say that at this stage. I'm not so sure, but like there's just been so much hype and anticipation that I thought, now's the time. Let me deep dive, see what this is all about. So before we get to the casting, I'll tell you a little bit about the show, what I learned about it. And it does sound good. I just need to see like what the aesthetic, what the vibe is for it. Like I need to see some marketing and some key art and like what we're going for here. I know it's based off of this old movie that I have never seen, but that was like a cult classic movie for its time. Like it has the makings of the right sort of Broadway show. I just haven't seen enough on it yet. This casting is like the first piece of news I personally have seen. So here's the synopsis. This is coming straight from Playbill. This says, quote, "The Lost Boys uses vampirism to explore the physical transformation, sexual awakening, and identity experimentation of a teenager's coming of age." Here we go. When the brotherly duo of Michael and Sam move to the fictional town of Santa Carla, California, with their working mother and eccentric grandfather, they inadvertently end up in the crosshairs of a group of teenage rebel vampires and adolescent vampire hunters. Ba, ba, bum! So this plot sounds good in a movie. I just can't picture it in musical form. Clearly, it's gonna hit. Like, clearly, they've figured it out. They've cracked the code on this. It just sounds so, like, crazy and a little bit cheesy. You gotta admit, most things that have to do with vampires are just a little bit cheesy. That I'm like, I really hope this is grounded and not gonna make me cringe, just because it just sounds so juvenile, but it might be great. It might be great. It might be great. Now let's talk about the casting. And now we're on to something, okay? We have Caissie Levy. She will be Lucy Emerson, which I assume is the mom. Now that's great and very cool because Caissie is going to be in 2 Broadway shows in 1 season. She's in Ragtime right now. Now she's already booked for Lost Boys. She's amazing. We know her from Next to Normal and many other things. I love her. I fully understood the hype of Caissie Levy whenever I saw her in Ragtime. I was like, this is my girl. Because I'd always just heard about her and how much everybody loved her, but I never like knew for myself why. And now I'm aligned. So that's a check in their column for sure. We also have Ali Louis oh gosh, his last name is so hard. I'm so sorry. Bourzgui. He was in Tommy, the Who musical, and then he was also most recently in Hadestown. He's very good. I really like him on a personal level. When I met him at Carpets, he's awesome. And he's going to be David. Okay, so 2 checks. Two checks in their Broadway column. We're casting Broadway folks. I love it. And we also have Benjamin Pajak, who is in Music Man as Sam. We have Maria Weiris, who is in Dear Evan Hansen as Star. I'm assuming Star might be like either a vampire hunter or an adolescent vampire. We have Paul Alexander Nolan, who you definitely know from Parade. He was most recently in Water for Elephants. He's also been in Chicago. He's been in a ton of stuff. His Playbill resume was pages long. So this cast, I love that we're casting Broadway folks. Also, they've released more names that I just wasn't familiar with, but we have quite a few people making their Broadway debut. This is fun. This is exciting. This is young. We love like a young show on Broadway. And by that, I mean just like younger actors, because the energy of younger actors is just so good. We love it, obviously. We all love The Outsiders. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably love The Outsiders. So I'm feeling a little like Outsiders vibes with the Lost Boys. It's giving that in a way. So I'm intrigued. I'm on board. I just am feeling like I'm anticipating seeing more. You know, I want more info, more of the curtain drawn back and like seeing what the plan is, because I just can't picture it in my head at this time. But yes, Lost Boys is coming to Broadway. It's going to be in the Palace Theater. Big theater. Jeez Louise. That's kind of an undertaking. It's opening March 27th. So this is going to be one of those shows that's like crackdown time before Tony Awards. So that's super exciting. Just like anticipating that. Their opening night is April 26th. So it's like right on time. Like that literally might be the cutoff date for the Tony Awards, which I love. Like, ooh, down to the wire. What's going to happen? It's pretty fun. So I'm excited for this. I think it's really cool that Caissie Levy is going to be representing Ragtime and Lost Boys at the Tonys. How unique is that? How cool. Our last news story, my dear Broadway besties, before we close it out for this stunning week, it is that we got the news officially. So many whispers on the sidelines, but it is now set in stone that Cats, the Jellicle Ball, is headed to Broadway. Angelical cats, angelical do, angelical. This is exciting. This was a roaring success at the Pack Theater, and now here it comes to Broadway, where it belongs. At its previous engagement, we had some really amazing actors in the cast, including the iconic King Andre DeShields as Old Deuteronomy, and he will be reprising his role on Broadway. Actually, majority of that original cast will be coming over to Broadway. They have already announced, which we love. We love when they take that original cast from off Broadway, because that's what we want to see. We have seen, if we haven't seen the show itself, like I never saw it on its off-Broadway run. We have all seen the many videos and obsessed over this choreography of Cats the Jellicle Ball. And I want to see those dancers and actors and performers on a stage on Broadway. I'm super duper excited. It is going to be transferring to the Broadhurst Theater. And previews begin March 18th ahead of an April 7th opening night. If you're unfamiliar with Cats the Jellicle Ball, it is a reimagining of Cats the musical. I know it sounds so crazy. You're like, Lindsay, why are you excited for this? It's Andrew Lloyd Webber. He's not your king. I don't know. I'm so lit for this. I love the ballroom culture. I love the choreography. I love the aesthetic of everything I've seen. They have, like I said, reimagined this musical. And it was just such a hit that I know it's going to be amazing. Is it going to win all the Tonys? Maybe. I'm really excited for this. I am. I can't wait to see it for myself. But guys, I just wanted to know, because it's very soon. By the time this comes out, it will be upon us. The pre-sale tickets go on sale October 14th, and tickets go on sale to the general public on October 16th. So you're going to want to hop on that, literally, because these are going to sell out. With how much excitement there was for the off-Broadway run, this is going to probably be a pretty tricky ticket to get. I'm really curious how they're going to transform the Broadhurst Theater, because at the Pack, I'm pretty sure they had like a runway and it was like somewhat immersive. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was a little bit immersive. So I'm like, what are they going to do? Are they going to have to like gut reno the Broadhurst? I'm curious. I don't know. So pretty exciting. This was a really, really exciting week in Broadway news with everything. Jeremy, Trisha, Lost Boys, big week. And it's going to keep on moving as we get further and further into this new season. I love it. I feel like this summer it was just like, not much happening, guys. Everything I'm talking about is off Broadway, but we're back to Broadway, baby. Never been better. So excited for the season. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of From the Mezzanine. You can always find more From the Mezzanine at From the Mezzanine Broadway on TikTok and Instagram, or you can become my personal Broadway bestie over on the Patreon. That's at patreon.com/FromTheMezzanine, and you will receive access to all of my past Meet Me at the Stage Door episodes and future episodes yet to come out. Meet Me at the Stage Door is just a little sit down, extra chat with the Broadway besties every single week. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye!